Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Greg Schmidt and I'll be the presenter today. And the topic that I'll be covering is don't overlook documents in your security and compliance strategy, and why organizations should be thinking about document management and security of their documents. In today's rapid evolving digital landscape, organizations are intensely focused on safeguarding their networks and data from the ever-growing threats in cybersecurity. However, it's equally important to ensure that sensitive documents collected daily through manual business processes and stored in filing cabinets or on network drives or in cloud storage are not overlooked. Understanding your organization's document lifecycle, and more importantly, what it should be, is essential for maintaining compliance and meeting regulatory requirements, regardless of the industry or company size. Developing a document management strategy and understanding the document lifecycle management and how it aligns with your current and future needs is very crucial to the long-term success of your business. As you know, here at Fortra, our mission is simple. We want to help our customers secure their networks from today's ever-growing cyber threats and also use automation to help IT manage business systems and business processes. So we focus on two key areas, cybersecurity and automation. And document informs management is a key part of our document security and automation suites. It helps companies in every aspect of our business by bringing efficiencies to their business processes by streamlining the ways companies create, capture, and securely manage and do distribution of their business documents and forms. Again, my name is Greg Schmidt. I'm a senior solutions engineer here at Fortra with over 24 years of industry experience. My areas of expertise are document and forms automation, accounts payable and receivable automation, intelligent document capture, robotic process automation, and business intelligence. I also have over 2 decades worth of experience in the IBMI report and data distribution area as well. And over the years, I've been key in helping companies automate their document and data processes, and in turn, helping with streamlining their business processes with technology and for strategic planning and digital transformation of documents and data, and also business workflows. One of the things I'm very passionate about is helping guide companies in best practices for implementation and solution expansion within their organization to bring many, other efficiencies, with the solution inside their organization. So basically, the land and expand kind of opportunities. Today's agenda is going to be focused around the main topic of document security and compliance. But first, I'll be talking about the importance of a document management solution and process enforcement. Then I'm going to get into how a document lifecycle strategy, along with a document management strategy, enhances security of business operations. I'll also be talking about the differences between them. Along with the components of each strategy. And then finally, how to achieve a scalable document security and compliance strategy, right? So how do you achieve that scalability inside of an organization without that disruption? And then we'll finish up with some Q&A if time permits. And remember, today's event is being recorded, and you'll receive a link to the recording after the event so that you can rewatch it if you missed something, or if someone in your organization could not attend today, you can send them that link as well. Please enter any questions that you may have into that chat window, and then we'll address them towards the end of the webinar if time allows. When we think about security, we often think heavily on data, how we store it, how we manage it, and how we protect it. But there's an equally important element that can sometimes fly under the radar, and that is the security of our documents. Documents are everywhere in our organization, whether if they're digital or physical, from contracts and invoices to internal reports and customer communications. Documents often contain sensitive information, and as businesses become more reliant on digital processes, protecting those documents from unauthorized access, either loss or theft, becomes a crucial component of compliance and overall data security. And compliance is not just a checkbox exercise. Regulations like GDPR, HIPAA, And others, place a strong emphasis on the security and management of documents. Non-compliance can lead to serious financial penalties and damage of your reputation. But beyond regulatory obligations, there's a trust factor. How confident are you that your clients and stakeholders, that are, protecting your and securing your information? Effective document security involves, sometimes encryption, controlled access, and robust policies around, the lifecycle management. It's about making sure the right people have access to the right documents at the right time while preventing unauthorized access. A breach can occur not just in data, but through poorly protected documents, making this an essential aspect of your organization's security framework. Our mission over the years has been to empower companies to, optimize their business processes. I help them by focusing on the, streamlining the creation, the capture, and the management, and the security of their documents, workflows, and data. In today's digital world, the efficiency of your operations heavily relies on how well your documents and data are managed. This is where our solution comes into play. We help organizations streamline these processes, ensuring that every step from document creation to distribution is handled with maximized security and precision. Our goal is to create a secure and efficient environment where businesses can focus on their core competencies while we handle the complexities of document and workflow automation. And by doing so, we help drive not only productivity, but also overall growth and innovation of an organization. Think of Fortra as not just a solution provider. We are your partner in cybersecurity and digital transformation, enabling you to secure and unlock the full potential of your business processes through innovating automation and robust security measures. To start out today, I just want to talk quickly about, a perception that is changing in many organizations' strategies today, and that is, the perception of a document management solution. It used to be that organizations, view document management as a nice to have solution, for getting rid of filing cabinets and paper, and didn't really associate it with the process enforcement, automation, and user efficiency and document security and compliance. But over the past few years, we have been seeing that the thought process has been changing. Document management has become a necessity rather than a luxury in organizations today because of the level of departmental automation, like for accounts payable, HR, legal, accounts receivable, and also with document security and process enforcement efforts within organizations. It provides the ability to, connect users to business processes and secure documents within organizations. And for organizations that are already using a document management solution or maybe using our WebDoc solution, it's time to start getting more use out of it and expanding it through your organization with different use cases within inside of your organization's departments. And don't be scared to lean on us. We're here to help you, get those ideas and get the process started. Just reach out to myself or to any of your Fortra document management sales representatives, and we can start that free consultation kind of a thing, and then go through the process with that. And I even have some samples of what a strategy might look like, with inside of an organization that might help you. But just remember, we're here for you to help you. So, document management streamlines organizations, enhance collaboration, ensures, version control, audit control, improves security, and facilitates the retrieval of information, ultimately boosting in productivity, security, and compliance with regulatory requirements. Since the dawn of commerce, the ability to maintain an efficient operation offers a competitive edge, to businesses. And in today's day and age, it is no different. From artificial intelligence to machine learning and robotic process automation, new ways for optimizing business operations continue to make waves within organizations across the world. However, document and workflow solutions are one type of solution that tends to get overlooked, like we've been talking about, in the ranks of that revolutionary technology. It impacts the productivity, the efficiency, and at nearly every level of modern business. And if it's implemented correctly, and I want to highlight that statement again, implemented correctly, the bottom line is business users will get the full value out of a solution, and they'll see the value of the solution and want to be able to use it in different departments as well throughout the organization. A document and workflow management solution offers a wide range of benefits, including centralized, obviously the core piece, right? The centralized document storage, where you can store all your all the repository, you have one that basically all your repositories in one, right, and be able to access it anytime and from anywhere. Improve document organization, so you can find and collaborate on that information quicker. Version and audit control capabilities, collaboration capabilities, security, which we're talking about today, provide that, protection, for different regulatory, kind of things. But maybe it's not even a regulatory thing. Maybe it's just security because you don't want certain departments or certain, people within the organization to see some of that information. Workflow automation is another one. So being able to streamline business processes inside of there. Compliance and regulatory requirements. Now, I mean, that's the big one that we're talking about, today, and and pretty much in every organization is being able to do that. And then cost savings. Reducing costs associated with maybe printing and storing. I know there's a lot of organizations out there that have digitized their filing cabinets and regained a ton of space that they've reused or given back, to other parts of the other businesses, from a rent standpoint. So saving money in that way is huge, and increased productivity. If you're not spending all that time, trying to look for something, and that's a huge thing, right? So if I can just push a button or go in and type something and get to it, within a second or two, that's huge. And then analytics and reporting, providing insights into your document usage, right? And workflow performances and user activity, what's going on, where are things in the process? So being able to see that. And then scalability, you can't grow without having some kind of level of technology to help you scale, right? And bring that productivity in at that point. Mobility is another one, ensuring access to documents and workflows, from mobile devices, that's another one too, or a web browser, right? Being able to access that information. And then integration, being able to integrate into all business systems. If it's your ERP system, if it's your CRM system, HR system, financial system, right? Being able to seamlessly integrate into those different systems to either be able to pull documents in from them or be able to look up documents into the system, into a document management or a web doc system. Overall, a document and workflow management solution can streamline operations and improve collaboration, enhance security, and drive efficiency across the organization. And you're going to hear me say that a lot today, is efficiency, right? Because that's what you want to be able to do, is drive that efficiency, but also be secure in the process. This list leads us into the next topic here, and it's the importance of process enforcement within an organization. Consistency is the backbone of efficiency and reliability in any organization. That's why enforcing processes is crucial. It ensures that every task, decision, and workflow follows a standard path or approach to achieve optimal results. Process enforcement is not just about following rules. It's about creating a framework that guides your team to work in a structured, efficient, and compliant manner. This foundation helps organizations, mitigate risks, improves quality, drives continuous improvement. And some of those, benefits, of a process enforcement, are obviously the increased compliance and security offering, right? By enforcing these, standards, you're ensuring that your organization consistently meets compliance requirements and security protocols. Improved efficiency, clear enforced processes to be able to follow, reduce the bottlenecks, make faster decisions. They can be executed on quicker. Quality control. When everyone is following the same process, you can achieve a higher level of quality control. It reduces the errors. It improves accuracy and ensures that the final output meets the expected standard consistency. Scalability again, right? Enforcing processes layers a strong foundation for scalability. So as your organization grows, well-defined processes ensure that new team members can quickly adapt, to those different, operations. I always like to emphasize the importance of, process enforcement because we understand that a strong standard approach drives more than just efficiency. It drives innovation, accountability, and resilience. Our solutions are designed to help organizations embed these processes seamlessly into your daily operations. Think of process enforcement as not just as a restriction, but as a strategic advantage that empowers your team to be more agile, precise, and compliant, all while building a culture of continuous improvement. And the next, part here that we're going to be talking about is, how a document lifecycle strategy enhances security and business operations. To truly maximize both security and operational efficiency in your business, you need a well-defined document lifecycle strategy, right? To be able to handle that. Managing documents from the creation to eventually disposal is more than just a process. It's a strategic approach that can transform how your organization operates. A document lifecycle strategy is about controlling every stage of the document's existence within your organization. This approach ensures that documents are not only accessible and organized, but also secure at every point of their life cycle. So some of the benefits of that strategy are enhanced security, improved compliance, and then also increased efficiency and reduced costs. So there's a lot there that we can help with in those different cases. Now the document informs lifecycle management. This is how the documents flow through your organizations. And here's a big thing. Understanding and having control of these document stages is crucial in optimizing the capture, management, distribution, and security of business information. A well-executed document lifecycle strategy enhances both security and business operations, by providing the structure, control, and optimization to the creation, process, storage, use, and eventually disposal of documents. And here's how. So the first one is improve security and compliance, right? So access control. A document lifecycle strategy typically includes the rules on who can access those documents at each stage of its lifecycle. Data encryption and protection might be one of those as well. So using server protection to be able to encrypt documents at rest, that might be another one as well. Audit trail capabilities, retention policy. That's a big one. So retention, so companies need to retain specific, documents for a certain amount of time, but you want to make sure that you're not retaining things too long, because that might actually affect you different ways. And then a negative effect, also it might cost you more money because you're going to be, keeping that in storage. So understanding what the retention policies are and being able to put a retention plan in place to be able to go to that disposal stage. And again, secure disposal. So the retention and secure disposal sort of go together a little bit, but having a proper way to be able to dispose of those documents, in an electronic way, it's more of a deletion kind of process to be able to make sure they're deleted out of there, or a staging process to move them through their cycle. The next one is enhanced efficiency and business operations. So again, version control, I think, is a big one. Well-structured document lifecycle ensures that the latest version of the document is easy to access while maintaining an archive of the previous versions, right? Reducing errors and miscommunication within teams. So being able to, have those version control, collaboration and workflow automation, being able to say, hey, I need you to look at this. I need to look at, this with my team. So I need to collaborate on that, or put it through some kind of workflow automation to maybe reduce some of those bottlenecks of review and approval processes. Scalability or searchability and retrieval is another one, right? Is being able to access those documents quick at your fingertips at any time. Paperless operations, going digital means that you can search and retrieve that information from pretty much everywhere at that point, right? So That's a big part of the paperless operation capabilities inside of there. And we have some other solutions here on the document forms management, sort of goes beyond the paper kind of process with our WebDocs forms management solution, where you can start to route things around through workflows and collect data and create documents. So paperless operations, I think, is always a key one and always will be going forward. The next one is risk mitigation. Data, looking at the data integrity. By controlling and how and when documents can be altered. So maybe it's just a view only kind of process, or maybe it's I can download the document and make changes to it. So but by putting controls in like that, you can reduce the risk of accidental or malicious changes that could disrupt business. Disaster recovery, that's always a big one. That's so in the document management lifecycle, so disaster recovery piece, especially nowadays with all the things happening in the world and all the weird weather that we're having in the different regions of the country. Being able to have data, digitizing this information, but then having this information stored securely in other parts of the world or other parts of the country is huge. And then scalability. As organizations grow, a structured document lifecycle can scale with them, ensuring that the document handling process remain efficient and can be increased, the volumes of information, right? So increasing the data and increasing the documents. And then also with the whole process of company growth, right? And acquisitions, tons of companies being acquired by each other, and blending together from that standpoint. So having that capability for scalability, I think, is huge in the process as well. And then the last one here is cost optimization, and storage optimization. Implementing a document lifecycle strategy helps avoid unnecessary document storages, right? So creating that disposal process inside of there, how long you store it, but maybe you have different storage mediums that you store it on. So being able to split that up into different allocated resources on the back end can minimize some of those storage costs. Resource allocation, with automated document lifecycle, human resources can focus on higher value tasks, right? So you don't have to have I call it the human value of automation, right? But also with security in this case, resource allocation. Now you can focus on the higher value tasks and sort of let the system, like in the case of routing or something like that, it's not having to run around and try to find a document. You can have the system sort of do that for you. Let technology do the work for you, basically. In summary, a well-defined document lifecycle strategy strengthens security by safeguarding sensitive information and reducing compliance risks, while improving business operations through efficiency, scalability, and cost savings. All right, I sort of just want to walk through some of these areas of the document lifecycle. Let's take a little deeper look in here. So, but in the document lifecycle, the capture and creation phase is about obviously generating content, and that could be a manual process like writing a report, or an automated process, such as capturing data from a form. And during this stage, you must focus on the consistency by using standard templates and maintaining document version control. Metadata tagging is crucial in this case, right? Being able to find stuff, and also full text information can be brought in as well. So there's different ways to be able to index the document, but metadata tagging and full text is usually the big parts of it. And after the that creation part, it comes down to the storage part, right? This is where it could be a physical document, could be a digital document, but they need to be securely stored, right? So with digital content, this means using a document management system with features like encryption or user-specific access permissions, might be group or user permissions, and setting those different parameters to be able to protect sensitive information. but also making sure it's accessible to the people that you need to, right? So not hindering them by blocking them out. And this one here now too, focusing on, a little bit of the use category, right? So after documents are created and stored, there's the use phase, where documents are actively managed and worked on. So you could have different, settings inside of there from the standpoint of, can I download it, or check in, check out? That's another one, right? Is check in, check out documents, so people can work on them. So if you're working on a Word document and collaborating with someone, you might have one step that says, I just want you to view it. I don't want you to have edit capabilities, but then everyone else might have edit capabilities. So you have those different processes there at that point. And then the final stage, once the document's in its final stages, we move to like more of a share phase, right? Where those documents can be collaborated on, like I was talking about, during the use process, right? So those sort of go together in a way, because you can use the document in a share process, but a share process, think of it as a workflow, approval, review process, and streamlining that. Having audit trails inside of there, who made changes, if someone made a change, we're version audit controlling the document. But that's a big part of the compliance and regulatory standards, is being able to look at what's changed on those documents, and who made those changes. And the last one is the archive, right? So or I shouldn't say the last one. Then the next one is the archive, right? So inside the archive process, this allows you to be able to store this, for the certain amount of period of time, right? To make sure you can use these documents, right? So people can search and access it. So if you get an invoice in, or certain kind of correspondence back and forth on something, you can internally, externally, and it's saved in the system, you need to go back and look at that. You can go look at that in the archive. So setting up, again, those retention policies and stuff inside of there. How long am I going to keep documents of these kinds? Looking at legal requirements, right? So consult, every industry is a little bit different on some of the legal areas, especially because of state and county and, different things like that. But and industry is a big one too. So you really want to make sure that you look at some of the normal compliance stuff. The federal government and state government is pretty straightforward. But if there's any kind of compliancy efforts that you have to meet for your industry. And the last one is destroy. So if it's paper, you want to make sure you're shredding that stuff and have some kind of shredding service, obviously, and getting it in. And if you need to, get it into the system at that point to be managed electronically, and then shredding it in that case. But if they are physical documents, you want to make sure that they're shredded, and then also setting up that deletion, using that retention policy to be able to move them to a deletion process, and also being able to show that deletion process in there as well. So I just want to make sure that you're adhering to the data destruction policies, and make sure that they're policies that are followed, right? And that can be enforced and followed. So don't make them so complex that that people don't understand them. You want to make them pretty, clear cut and documented. All right, and that's just really quick part, going through some of those different stages. If anybody is interested in going through them a little bit more, obviously when we go through demonstrations on our WebDoc solution, we sort of take you through those different cycles inside of there, of the document lifecycle. But when it comes to document security and compliance, scalability is key, right? And organizations grow and evolve. Their data, protection strategies must also expand to meet increased demands without compromising efficiency and integrity. Achieving scalable document security and compliance involves implementing solutions that can adapt to the size and complexity of your organization. It's about creating a flexible framework that supports your business growth while ensuring the security standards are met. So I think this is a really key feature here, is being able to achieve a scalable document management and compliance, right? And here are some of those steps to help you achieve scalability, right? Adopting automation or digital business agility. Automation is a game changer for scalability. By automating repetitive and manual tasks related to document handling and compliance checks, it frees up resources while reducing the risk of human error. Implementing robust, compliance controls. As regulations and industry standards continue to evolve and change, um, you know, it's crucial to have a compliance control that is easy to update and enforce. These controls should be embedded into your workflows and in your processes to ensure that every step of the document lifecycle adheres to the latest standards as they're changing. Leveraging scalable solutions. Make sure the solution is scalable and flexible so they can grow with you. And it's configurable technology that provides the infrastructure to store and manage and protect small volumes, but also large volumes of documents. Integrate with existing systems. Make sure that you have a system that can integrate into other business systems, and has the right technology stack to be able to help you provide that. If it's REST APIs, if it's client APIs, if it's native commands. And then last of all, start doing something, right? So achievable scalability means that you have to start doing something, right? You just can't keep creating plans all the time, right? Here at Fortra, we're really, focused on creating scalable solutions that grow with businesses, right? Where we're a small enterprise or a large corporation, right? Or that we can handle, from the scalability standpoint. Our tools ensure that your document security and compliance efforts are consistently effective, no matter the scale. So if you're a small scale or a large scale, they're going to help you at each of those different levels. Now, one of the things, the number one factor driving that I talked about before, in the competitive landscape, is digital business agility. So having that scalability, the digital business agility, I think, is the number one thing, inside of an organization that really needs to adopt. In the world where change is constant, organizations need to be, they need to be agile, right, and adopt. Be adaptable to and responsive to new opportunities and challenge they may be facing. Digital business agility is a key to stay ahead, in this dynamic environment. Business or digital business agility truly means being in control of what and how documents and data are captured, managed, and secured within your organization. It's not just about having systems in place. It's about having a flexible, I'll call it the flexibility to adapt these systems to evolving business needs, changes, and processes. Within the concept of business, or digital business agility, effective data capture is the first stage. Organizations must ensure that they have the right tools to gather information accurately and efficiently. This ability to capture data in real time enables quick decision making, reduces delays, and helps businesses stay proactive. Once documents are captured, managed, and become crucial, or really becomes crucial, right? Digital business agility allows companies to organize and categorize and analyze their documents in a way that drives statistic insights. Agile management of documents ensures that business can swiftly adapt to changing market conditions and customer demands. Security is a fundamental aspect of digital business agility. Protecting sensitive information while maintaining accessibility is a delicate balance, while agile organizations must master still. Ensuring that documents are secure from breaches and leaks, while still being able to, making them ready available to authorized users. In summary, true digital business agility empowers organizations to react faster, make smarter decisions, and innovate continuously. It enables businesses to leverage their documents as a strategic asset, turning challenges into opportunities and maintaining a competitive edge in the market. Digital business agility is not just a trend. It's a necessity for modern organizations aiming to thrive in the fast-paced world. By being in control of how their documents and data are captured and managed and secured, businesses can drive growth, innovation, and long-term success. So that's why it's so important inside the strategies is to be able to adopt that concept. And going back to we already talked about the document lifecycle management, but the two of these, although the two of them, meaning document lifecycle management and a document management strategy, I think are key to the security process, right? Or anything, right? I mean, not just security, but the success of a document management system inside of an organization to be able to help with processes. So looking at the document lifecycle management, that's more of a tactical approach, right? That focuses on specific stages of the process that we talked about, right? Like the capture creation, or the create and capture, the store, use, share, archive, and destroy, right? And on the other hand, the document management strategy, takes a broader strategic perspective. It focuses on the overarching and managing documents across the entire organization. Document management strategy is about setting the policies, processes, and tools that define how documents should be handled, ensuring that all documents related activities align with your company's goals, compliance needs, and business objectives. By understanding and implementing both the document lifecycle management and the document management strategy, which the document lifecycle management is a part of, organizations can not only streamline document handling, but also ensure that their document management aligns with strategic business goals and regulatory requirements. At Fortra, we help you leverage both of these concepts to create a more secure and efficient document management framework for growing businesses. Think of the document management or document lifecycle management as a day-to-day operations of document handling, and the document management strategy as the game plan that guides these operations towards a larger organized objective. Together, they form a cohesive approach that empowers your business to handle documents more effectively and securely. All right. And components of your organization's document management strategy um, might look something like this, right? So there's some key components to that. And the first one's obviously document capture, making sure you have ways to get stuff into the system, document security, process enforcement, compliance and regulatory requirements. You want to make sure you have that built into it. Audit version control capabilities, integration strategy is a big one. So remember, talking about integrating into business systems is huge because user adoption is going to be higher at that point. Storage strategies, what's your storage and retention policies and stuff like that. And then a phased implementation. We'll talk about this a little bit later here too. But phased implementation is a huge one of the document management strategy because you can't do it all at once. So that's a big part of it. And organizations, are managed to increase volumes of data. They're looking at all this data and going, it's essential to have a strong policies around certain things. But in this slide, the 6 key considerations that which should be part. You should start asking yourself, right? Like, what data, do we hold, right? Why do you have it? Why are we holding it, right? What's it for? How sensitive is this information? What data is being collected? So first of all, looking at the data and saying, why are we collecting this? Should we not be collecting this? Is this making us non-compliant by collecting it? What is being created? What kind of documents are being created in the organization? Many organizations create new documents internally, whether it's through reporting or employee information, R&D. Documents, do they need to be secured if you're creating them? Kind of a thing. So you got to look at that as well. Where are they stored or located? Are they located in, so if you're multi-country, are the documents stored in the country so they're secured in that country? Because you might have to split those documents up and store the documents for each country in the country that they originate from. And who is accessing, using, and sharing them. So understanding that whole policy and being able to get to that information is huge, right? Because you want to be able to monitor, potential risks and say, hey, we got people looking at HR documents, we got people looking at certain things inside of here, so we might want to look at that stuff a little bit different. And then really quickly, I just want to run through this. So some of the retention policy, since we still have just a few minutes here, talk about, why it's important to have retention inside of organizations, right? Looking at retention, a lot of it again is, legal compliance, risk management, efficiency, data security, and space and cost savings. So you want to make sure that when you're looking at this information, you want to make sure that you're retaining it in the right amount. And again, don't just think that you know what you need to keep. Make sure you look at state and federal regulations. Make sure you consult legal at that point from the standpoint of, what kind of documents for our industry do we need to keep and how long? Because some documents you need to keep forever. So it's nice to be able to, get that information and being able to, control it in a better way. And something to remember again is you don't have to do this all at once, right? Take a stepped approach. Define what your ultimate goal or plan is, and then take it one step at a time. So you've got to look at that long-term vision, define what that long-term vision is, and then you want to be able to pick that starting point and then take it step by step until you reach the top. But you got to know what that long-term vision is to be able to get there. Now, that long-term vision might change when you get to step 2 because businesses change, right? Or as you learn the technology, things might change as you get to the top. But the good thing is the plan can change inside of here. So you can change some of that information as you go on. So you got to make sure that that's part of the plan, is revisiting your strategies and making sure that they're up to date at that point. And here's this sort of a best practice look at it. So pick that start date to start from, right? Create a phased plan and look at needs versus wants. So I always look at needs versus wants, analyze current processes, and show the value to the business. You got to show the value to the business and the business users so that the adoptability of the solution is key, right? And expand it through the organization, because once you execute in a certain department, another department is going to see that. And you want to make sure that you have plans to expand and set some of those different expectations inside of the organization, through different into different processes or different document types. And the last thing here is, where are you? One of the questions to ask yourself is, where are you in your document security and automation journey? Move beyond just securing data and make documents, the document security a priority within your compliance and information protection strategies. The perfect question to ask yourself is, how are you securing your documents? So think about that, inside of there, and then look at it and say, how are we securing that? Ask HR, how are you securing these documents? How are we doing this? Who can get to that information? All right, I'm not going to take any questions today because we're right on time, actually, and I don't want to run over here today. So all the questions there are some questions that have came in, and I will get back to you after the webinar or later today or tomorrow with some answers to those questions. I just want to thank everyone for attending today's webinar, and I hope you've learned some important, the true importance of securing your organization's documents and things like that. So, but if you do have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to our document and forms management sales team and or myself, and we'd be happy to schedule a live one-on-one consultation or a live demo to address any of those concerns and sort of show you, what those steps are in the document lifecycle management and how we can capture and create and do different things like that. Again, you'll receive a link to today's webinar. So there'll be a recording link that you'll get from today's webinar that you can share with anyone in your organization that might not have been able to attend. Or if you'd like to rewatch it again for reference, you can do that as well. Thank you again, and have a great rest of your day and the rest of your week.